What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about being stuck in a rut. Stuck in a rut, again, it could be many different things. It could be a personal rut, and it could be due to your relationship with your family and friends. It could be a performance rut at the gym, or your diet and nutrition. You're just not seeing the results in that area. Or it could be a professional rut, somewhere in your career. You're not getting that job satisfaction anymore. So when you bring all three of them together, for me, being stuck in a rut, one of the main drivers is, your motivation. You've lost your motivation for whatever reason. You've got no drive, the motivation, that desire to want to go on and better yourself and succeed. And the reasons behind the rut, there could be many, and amongst them all. But I just want to sort of give you some basic steps on, how better to maybe prepare yourself while you're in this rut. So if you do currently find that you're a bit stagnant and you just don't seem to be making any progress, then try looking into this and hopefully it can maybe help you. So first of all, it's becoming aware. So if you are actually aware that you're in a rut, I want to congratulate you now, because some people, the hardest part is actually acknowledging that you're in this rut. Some people are going by their day-to-day, business or just personal life, and they don't even realize they're in it. They're going around, they're groping in the morning, and things aren't looking good all the time. They're always looking a bit negative, and they can't see the better side, or the grass isn't green, or wherever they want to be. So they're the people that are quite, it's quite poisonous for them, that they've still not become aware of their situation. They're just going around, and they're either dragging themselves down to a level or dragging other people down. So if you become aware, that's great. That gives you a base to work off. You've now got that base. You've become aware of your situation. You're just needing that help to try and get over it. If you know exactly what's causing the rut, then that's even better. You might just need that help. You know where you want to be, and you can't seem to press through, and that's where you might need the support from other people, which is grand. But if you're still not quite sure what it is, the next step I would say for anyone to take is, you've got to become insightful. You've got to start consuming information, in my eyes, that when you're not quite sure what it is, and yes, it'd be ideal if you could pinpoint it down and say, I need to go and get information in this area to help me. But I would say any area, but as long as the information that you're consuming is worthy of it. There's lots of information out there now, and half of it is just dog shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't serve you in any way, shape, or form. But I honestly believe any information in regards to self-development is worthy of reading. That is adding value to yourself. Start to learn how to add value to yourself. Stop scrolling through social media if you find yourself in this rut. Because social media, the chances are, the irony is that I'm on social media, but once you've found, or you've got that trigger, that awareness is there, you know that there's something wrong. Stop it now. Go out and look for the other information that does serve you, and anything in regards to self-development. Whether it be going and listening to podcasts, whether it's reading books, or trying to follow certain people within the social media space, but they are just purely talking about self-development. That for me is one of the biggest ways to add some good information and some good value to yourself. So start there, start adding that value to yourself. After that, I would say it's all about vision. If you're not very good at visualization, I feel as though one of the things I do sort of give myself credit for is being really creative and having a good vision, especially in my property side of things. I've love nothing better to walk into an empty building and start piecing the puzzle together all in my mind. Then that visualization of how things should be and how things would look. I absolutely love it. But you should start doing that for your life. Everybody should be able to, and even if you can't, if you sit down with a plain piece of pen and paper, start writing it down. But if you can't, try and look for the key triggers, other people that you sort of admire or you look up to, what would they be? at the end of the day, this is your life and your vision. That's maybe one of the starting points. Are you actually visualizing your life, or is somebody doing it for you? Is somebody telling you how you should be living? Unfortunately, it might be your spouse, it might be a partner. If they've got their big vision and they're just trying to bring you along on their vision, at the end of the day, if it doesn't fit you, then you're going to be stuck. You've got to either sort of have the courage to speak up and say this to your partner and say, look, I don't quite feel comfortable in the direction that we're going. Maybe we need to sit down and talk things over. But before you do that, write it down yourself. Write it down, and then you've got that starting point. You know where you want to be. Let's say if you don't, just keep trying. It might be hard, it doesn't, but just try and visualize where you want to be in 10 years from now, from 5 years from now, from 3 years from now, from 1 year. Reverse engineer it, come back on yourself, and hopefully you'll start to have that idea of what your vision should look like for the future. So yeah, you've become aware, now insightful, you've getting a bit of a vision going. The next thing I would say is your values. What values are you holding for yourself? What are your core values inside? What do you actually want? So make sure these values align with this vision. If you've got some big grand vision, but your values don't sit right with it, then it's always going to have that conflict of interest. Don't have that. Make sure your vision and your values align. So if you've got a vision that you want to be a millionaire, but your values say that you disagree with money, or you tend to hate on people that have got money, then it's never going to work. You can't be creating that status, because to get a millionaire status, you can't have a minimum wage mindset. You've got to, something's got to change. Either you've got to bring your vision down, or you've got to, change your values to, meet that vision. So the two of them have got to align up. So your values and your vision, that's a big part to play in the importance of it. The next step I would say is look at the support that's around you. Supporting yourself, supporting others, and supporting your environment. Even in your environment, where are you going on a day-to-day basis? Who in this environment are you coming into contact with, and how do they encourage you to go out there and look for these better signs that you're trying to look for in life? Or do they just suck you back into this other person's vision, or just no vision at all? So this is just people in general, you know what I mean? And they're out there every day. You go shopping, you go to work, you're sitting on the bus, people that you're watching on TV. It's everywhere. So just be very mindful of your environment. But that's from, people that can influence us. But the environment, the surroundings itself can influence you. It's just like, if you're trying to get out of a certain rut and you're at home, and you've surrounded yourself by things that keep reminding you and keep drawing you back into this rut, it's maybe time for a spring clean in that house. Get rid of everything that's sort of drawing you into this run-down, unsuccessful version of yourself. Start implementing, putting little things in place around the house that will actually bring your mood up, that will spring you. So when you get out of that bed, you're springing right out of bed and into that good, vibrant mood that you want. Again, you're springing out of bed and you're thinking, I don't know what I'm springing out for, because I haven't figured the route out, but it's a start. It's a good start. You're springing out of bed to write that vision down, to, go and read that next book on self-development, to start, finding out what your true values are in life. That's what you want to be doing. Prime your environment to start your success. After that, once you've started doing these steps, then you would gradually, naturally start to build some momentum. So that momentum, you want to make sure it keeps going. Make sure that you're doing these continuous steps all the time to create that momentum. When you start seeing momentum, that is when you'll start to see positive results showing up. Everybody wants results. Some want it faster than others, but unfortunately, in today's world, people need results like this. But when you're stuck in a rut, in my eyes, it could be something as watching this video that might get you out of it, and that's absolutely brilliant. But the reality is, there's a little bit of work that's involved, and for me, it's just as easy as going through what I'm talking about now. Build that momentum and start gaining on that. after you've started to get a bit of momentum and you've taken some actions on these steps, just take a minute to step back and reflect on it. Have a look at what you've actually achieved in that short space of time, whether that's every day, every week, every couple of weeks. Just take that minute to reflect, just run back over it again. I've read this book, it was fantastic, I enjoyed it. What next? I've got this sort of vision. I'm starting to piece down what I want in the next 5 years. Right, let's work on and break that down for the next 3 years. My values, I'm still a bit iffy, but if I keep looking at the vision, eventually my values will align up with that, or if vice versa, you feel as though the values have got to come before the vision. And then after that, like you say, continuously look at your surroundings, who you surrounding yourself with, and the environment, in your home environment, how are you getting up on a day-to-day basis. Just make sure you're reflecting that in itself, just reflecting back, and if that propels you back to being at the start where you first become aware. You must have reflected at some point to acknowledge that you are comfortable with where you're at, and that's why you've got stuck in the rut to start with. So yeah, if you just follow them little simple steps with a bit of luck, that would start to shine some light on that rut. You can start to see the end of it and start clawing your way out and onto your next version, the next best version of yourself. So I hope that was very helpful, insightful, and valuable to a few people out there. If you did, I would really appreciate if you like and share it. That'd be absolutely fantastic. So other than that, I'll leave you to it, guys. Until such time, keep it up and believe the hype.